Welcome back to Project 613. Today we continue learning the Torah's list of forbidden relationships, and we specifically have the next 6 mitzvot, the next 6 prohibitions on this list, the first 3 of which pertain to the prohibition of incest with one's aunt, and there are 3 specific variations of that, each of which are considered their own mitzvah, their own prohibition. And they are, number 1, the prohibition of incest with one's paternal aunt, that's with one's father's sister. Number 2, with one's maternal aunt, with one's mother's sister. And number 3, with one's uncle's wife, with one's father's brother's wife. These relationships are forbidden, and each one is considered its own independent prohibition, its own independent mitzvah. Now, here's an interesting thing about this forbidden relationship of marrying one's aunt, that interestingly, we find that Moses, the greatest leader of the Jewish people, was actually born from such a relationship. You see, Moses' father, Amram, married his own aunt, Yocheved. So it's interesting that later, after the Torah was given, the Torah actually prohibited such a relationship. Similarly, yesterday we learned that incest with one's own sister is forbidden, but yet all of the human race really descends from such relationships because the sons of Adam and Eve, married their own sisters. And that's how the human race was born. So why is it that later the Torah said that such relationships are forbidden? So some of the commentaries actually give an explanation to this by comparing the story of humanity, and specifically that of the Jewish people, to a tree, which the beauty of a tree is when its branches spread far and wide and are actually spread themselves away from the roots and away from the trunk. Imagine if we would take the branches of a tree and if we would try to tie them back to their trunk, if we would try to tie them back to their roots. Not only would the tree not thrive, it wouldn't be able to survive, it would wither away. It's only healthy when it spreads out. Similarly, whereas such relationships, close relationships, resemble the roots and the source of humanity as a whole and of the Jewish people, so they were okay in the beginning. But after the Torah was given, the Torah said, now it's time to spread out. And if we were to tie back the branches to their roots, if we would tie them back to their trunk, not only would they not thrive, but they would wither away. And that's why these relationships are forbidden in the Torah once the Torah was given. So these are the first 3 for today. The last 3 are, number 1 is a prohibition of incest with one's daughter-in-law. That's a 4th mitzvah that we have today. And the 5th is the prohibition of incest with one's sister-in-law, with one's brother's wife. And the 6th is also the prohibition of incest with one's sister-in-law, but here we're talking about one's wife's sister. So these are the 6 that we have today. Tomorrow we will continue with additional forbidden relationships. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.